Perhaps you've noticed that winning when playing slot machines at casinos isn't exactly as easy as pushing the bet button on a randomly chosen slot machine and watching it lock up because you've just won a hand pay. If only it was that easy. Winning at slots is much more like an elusive journey to a prized destination. Different slots enthusiasts take different paths to get there with unique twists and turns along the way. Sometimes interesting things happening in the live chat. I'll get to that in a minute. So sometimes the journey is grueling, difficult, and frustrating. And honestly, some people never make it. Although they may persist for years, the path they follow does not ultimately lead to their destination. So they travel in circles, beating the same broken path again and again. Let's make sure that's not your story. While no one can give you an exact map that will replicate a successful arrival at your prized destination every time, here at Professor Slots, we are successful at guiding slots enthusiasts through a process that helps them create their own map to their destination. In fact, the process you'll go through in today's discussion, it's going to be a little truncated because I have too much to say to be able to get it all in an hour, but this is based on a guide that I am creating, a free guide that I'll be launching shortly. But this guide is the foundation for the exact same process high limit slots players have offered to pay me tens of thousands of dollars to teach them. We've been promoted by recreational gambling podcasts, YouTube channels, and recommended by YouTube themselves for the results of our process that they create for slots enthusiasts like you. Some of our clients have implemented this process and in only 6 weeks grown to making a 40% profit every month. Others have grown from breaking even to winning 52 hand bays in less than a year. Still others have turned their slots play into a full-time career simply by following the steps I'm about to outline. I'll try to get to all of it. We'll see how far we get. The rest of it will be available shortly. We have a time consideration here. And while no one can give you a roadmap to a growing, thriving, successful slot machine gambling career, I hope that I will give you the tools you need to begin creating your own map. Have some graphics, but I'll hold on to those. I'll help you define your destination, develop a strategic plan. There you go. I'll help you define your destination, develop a strategic plan that will lead you there, and point you to resources that will help you navigate the territory through which you travel, this land of slot machine casino gambling. We'll get started in just a moment because we have a lot to get through, but a few donations have already come in. First off is Chuck. And I will turn that off. And thank you, Chuck. Chuck says, good morning. Chuck is a regular donator and very much appreciate his donations. Thank you very much, Chuck. And I think that's it. I don't see any questions in the live stream. I want to publicly say thank you, Paula, for again being our moderator today. And I do want to apologize for missing last weekend. I'm trying to get back to every weekend again. But I got a puppy and it's like twice as big. So you can see it in the thumbnail over in his cage, but right now he's downstairs taking a nap because we just went for a vigorous walk halfway down the driveway. So he's napping, usual puppy activities, but he's a golden retriever and he's 20 pounds. He was 10 pounds and he's going to end up at 90. So he's just booming. Anyway, it's been great fun, but that and having a priority to give to myself to update the course, which is what I wanted to talk about next anyway. So thanks to those of you who already signed up to my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. Oh, And we have another. Jan, also known as Texas Tootsie, by our YouTube handle, has donated $50. Thank you so much, Jan. Chuck and Jan are top donators, and it's again very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And they're also in the course, if I can say that. Thanks to those of you who have already signed up to my 30 Days Play Slots Smarter and Win online course, which is still a beta version for a bit longer with its $100 discount for before I update the course to its new price of $197. So that's going to be $100 more. Right now, you can get it before while it's still 50% off. So let me quickly show you what you'll see, just to share. So if you go to my website, there's a couple of different URL links that work, but if you go to my website, professorslots.com, yes, I have a website for those of you on Facebook and those of you who only found me on YouTube. There is like a website, professorslots.com, and if you click on the Get My Online Course green button at the top of any page, you will go to my courses. Right now I have the one. It's a beta version, $97, 128 lessons. If we go there, this is what you'll see. Actually, this is me already signed in. So let me switch to what it would look like for you if you haven't registered for the course. And so this is $97 currently in 8 days and about 12 hours, which would make it midnight Sunday, August 22nd, which would be midnight a week from tomorrow night. Tomorrow at midnight plus 1 week. The cost will be increased by $100 to its regular price. It's discounted now. And in this, you will see you have some extras that you'll be getting, some bonuses. We can talk about that. There's a curriculum that you can look through. And I want to thank the beta testers. I know it's been months, but every lesson for the beta version has a place for people to put in comments, and they've been invaluable. I haven't been able to go through all of them partly because they're still coming in, but thank you so much for the contributions you've made. That is why I made it available for $100 off, because that was work for people, and people who had ideas and thoughts about improving the course for everybody else deserve to have a discount. But I'll be removing that request. There will be a review at the end, request for a review, but that's it for the new version. But you still have a week week and a day week and a day and a half to 8.5 days while this is still available. So I want to make sure I share that with you. And you will find the link. I would drop it into chat so that you have it. Be careful clicking it because, sorry, wrong mouse. Be careful clicking it because it could kick you out of the live stream. And I wouldn't want you to do that. So, but that is the link. Or you can just go to professorslots.com and click the green button to be taken to my courses. And from there, you can sign up. And please remember to do so before the price doubles in 8.5 days. I wouldn't want you to miss out. Okay, so I think we're caught up on donations. Excellent. And let me put that back. Okay, so when I started playing slots in 2004, very few people were thinking intentionally about what they were doing when playing slot machines, including me. In fact, the only reason I visited that first casino was because I was on a long drive going back to graduate school from visiting family. And a roadside motel gave me free slots play for their local casino. I figured, why not visit that casino and spend it? So I went in that first casino and found it confusing and didn't win a thing. While on another road trip, not long afterwards, I saw another casino and decided to try again. At this second casino, I did win playing slots. I won and I won and I won. I ended up turning my $100 bankroll into over $500 over a deafening, sweaty, 9-hour-long session. Did I mention smoky? It was smoky too. I had no goals or objectives other than to have fun and to use slots to cheaply entertain myself. No large bankrolls were being risked. I didn't yet have any strategies, and my education of others at slots wasn't even a glimmer in my eye yet. Playing slot machines was a hobby motivated solely by personal satisfaction. In my mind, before I started playing slots myself, the only way for someone to win was to be lucky. Yet my actual experiences weren't matching my expectations. I talked about it with a few friends. Besides, who else would be interested? But somehow other people kept talking to me. They were interested, which concerned me a bit. At that time, it was taboo to be a gambler while also trying to become a serious doctoral engineering candidate. Reputations matter when establishing credibility as a future working professional in the aerospace industry. I guess, maybe. Turns out later, just before I was laid off last year, we had a meeting in Henderson, Nevada. It's a suburb of Las Vegas, and from all over the country, these engineers that I work with showed up, and we had a 1.5 day long meeting. And we got done at noon, and my flight was at 3. And after the meeting was over at noon, we all kind of like got together, and they all kind of like wandered over to me, sort of thing. Have you ever had that happen? And they were like, John? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? We were wondering if you could take us to the casino. I'm like, oh, why didn't I plan this? My flight's in like 2 hours. I'm so sorry, guys. Next time. And then I got laid off. So sorry, guys, if you're watching. So, but I had a lot of questions at that second casino. What was happening? How common was winning at slots? Was I lucky, or was I somehow playing slots differently? If I made choices which helped me win at slots, what were they? Could I win over the long term and elsewhere? That set me down a trajectory that led to where we are today. I wanted answers too. All those questions, and apparently other slots players did too. A decade later, Professor Slots was born. Oh, by the way, my aerospace coworkers are indeed fascinated, and they're fascinated in that we have similar skill set, and they're interested in, so that's part of what you've done with your education. And so they find that part fascinating too, as do I. So today I live in Dayton, Ohio with pets in a log home. Welcome to my home. And I enjoy both of those. The slots gaming industry has certainly changed since those days. Today, slots players wrestle with casinos. Just keeping an eye on things. Today, slots players wrestle with casinos for hours to get a few wins. The gaming industry is becoming saturated with almost 1,000 casinos across the U.S., half of them tribal and no longer centered in Las Vegas and Atlantic City. This abundance of casinos is causing slots viewers to now ask different questions about our content than they asked several years ago. Now slots enthusiasts are asking questions like, which of my local casinos is best for me? How do my state's gaming regulations help me win at slots? How do I find a winning slot machine with a small bankroll? You've heard me answer those questions in prior recent live streams within the last month or so, where I've answered those questions. But changes happen, and it's a dynamic environment. So gone are the days of just casually winning at slots with no clear plan. That worked just fine in the beginning, but not anymore. Now slots enthusiasts approach casinos with more questions, expectations, and skepticism than ever before. It's common for new slots players to only consider whether they like the game theme on a machine, not where it is physically located within a casino. Unfortunately, they will put all their energy into games with a high level of player appeal rather than whether that machine is a potential winner. With all the competition for their bankrolls, they get plenty of misdirection from casinos. What's your favorite slot machine? The one you win on, right? Right? If you need to have a plan for the kind of slots player you want to be, know your slots goals and how casinos operate so you can take advantage of them. Without a clear strategy, your slots play will continue to accomplish nothing at all at a record pace. Cutting through all the noise rarely happens accidentally anymore. Combine a plan with dedication, hard work, time, and persistence is the only proven way to win at slot machine casino gambling. You can go for the 1 in a million shot by chasing a life-changing mega jackpot, but that usually doesn't get you as far as the above qualities will. Most of today's winning slots enthusiasts never had one big jackpot that propelled them to fame, stardom, and riches. It was slow growth over time. Thankfully, unlike a mega win, a path like that is the only thing you can really control. A strategic plan is basically a slot strategy. It's a plan that helps you accomplish what it is you're hoping to achieve with your slots gambling efforts. Think of your path like a treasure map. Let me show you a treasure map. Think of your path as a treasure map. Right now, you're at sea, but where you really want to be is on an island digging at a spot marked with a big red X. Unfortunately, your map is missing the dotted line that leads you to that X, so you have to make one. That dotted line is the role your slots gambling strategy plays. What might your big X be? It could be almost anything. To entertain yourself and your friends. To earn complimentary gifts like food, electronic devices, and travel. To make money. To make a living at playing slot machines professionally. To beat casinos at their own game. To have bragging rights. It's impossible. Let me stop sharing that. It's impossible for someone to come to you and honestly say, you want to be successfully playing slots? Well, here's how to do it. They might have some tips and ideas or even a pre-packaged strategy for you, but no cookie-cutter approach will ever work as well as the one you developed yourself. Why? Because when you invest in the process of creating your own strategy, you take ownership of it. It's your baby. It's personal. It energizes you. It drives you. When aspects of the strategy seem like they're not working, you know how to fix it. And when you start to see the results pay off, your excitement level rivals that of a shovel clinking against a buried treasure chest. Instead of telling you what your strategy slots path should be, I want to ask you a series of questions that will help you develop a strategy that's personalized for you, your favorite casino, and your destination. The video strategy you develop, the slot strategy you develop should be so tailored to you that it fits like a hand in a glove. A couple of notes before we dive into this. Though. First, don't rush this process. It's not a race. There's no stopwatch pushing you through this guide. The longer today's session, and ultimately this guide, which I'll provide at a later time, the longer and deeper you think through the upcoming questions, the better your strategy will be. If you take your time, you'll have a clearer map and will understand the path to your destination much more clearly. But don't just skim through some of these questions and think to yourself, oh yeah, I see where he's going here, and move on. That will do nothing more than waste your time. It does not create results for you and your gameplay. Second, don't expect to nail down your strategic path your first time through it. Personally, my own slot strategy shifts as I learn more, have new experiences, and discover things along the way. To further complicate it, there will always be changes and developments in the gaming industry that will require that you alter your path. Just as unexpected obstacles force treasure hunters to alter their course. And I wanted to acknowledge Devin for his super sticker. Thank you so much. It doesn't show on the screen, but he's got is that a puppy or, or something moving back and forth? And Jan had something before. Is that a monster scaring skyscrapers? Well, it looks like a happy monster ringing bells. Thank you, Devin, so much for the super sticker. I do appreciate it. It helps the business keep going. As I mentioned about the course, you have lifetime access to the course if you purchase it, but it's not your lifetime or my lifetime, it's the lifetime of my business. So thank you for your support. And I'll put that away. All right, right. Think of this dotted line on your map as an adventure. Think of this dotted line on your map as an adventure. Embrace the journey, even if it means changing course a few times. Usually these course changes turn out for the better when you're intentional and rooted in the lessons you're learning. That's why it's important to understand the process of blazing a strategic path rather than just adopting someone else's cookie cutter strategy and how-to tips. While tips are valuable, if you understand the process, you can easily modify it as you grow as the territory changes. Third, if you get to the end of this and don't feel like you have a strategic path that is clear and focused, that's okay. Start moving in the direction that makes the most sense based on what you do understand. Your vision for the future will often become clearer as you move forward. So let's check in with the live chat. I think we got a question from maybe Nancy. Let's see if I can bring that up. Nancy says, hi, new member. Hi, Nancy. You're going to WinStar. That's in Oklahoma for people who don't know. It's the largest casino in the world for people who don't know. And ready to win, learning from your YouTube channel. Great. Enjoy. Make sure that you join my Oklahoma Slots Enthusiast group if you have a Facebook account. A lot of people don't, and that's okay. I have something coming that might help with that. But in the next revision of the course in 8.5 days, join Oklahoma Slots Enthusiasts on Facebook, professorslots.com/FBOK. FBOK. And if you're in another state, then just replace OK with the 2-letter postal designation for your state, and that'll have a group. I think we're like 1,200 people on. There's 1,200 people on Oklahoma, and I think Nevada has almost 500 now. Something extraordinary is happening on my main one, Professor Slots Enthusiast, where at the beginning of June I had 1,200 members, and by tomorrow, or at least Sunday, I should have 8,000. So it's boom, growing, which is great. Let me thank Lynn. Thank you, Lynn, for the super sticker. For even though you can't see it, it says thanks for being you on the super sticker. Thank you, Lynn. I stopped pretending to be somebody else. It's a long time ago. Once I figured out who I was, it's just no future to it. If I don't be myself. Thanks for the value, and Lynn also says thanks for the valuable education you have provided to me. You're welcome. I'm so happy for you. And Narpes Gallo lost big last night. So sorry. Guess sometimes I'm a little bit late to help people. Unfortunately, people come back from Las Vegas and they find out after they get back my 7 secrets for your Las Vegas trip, and they're like, "Oh no!" And he said Narpels lost big last night. Didn't really have a plan. I'm mad at myself. We have to kind of let that go, and that happens. There's always the opportunity. I mean, I've won. And just one, and it was like playing a ATM machine where I was going to make a withdrawal, only I didn't know how much the withdrawal was going to be. It was boring as heck. It was really not fun. So I know last night was tough, but when we, when it's not gambling, it's not fun. Okay, let me see if there's any other questions I might have missed. Poker God said, just got back from the casino. They got me no luck. Yeah, luck is one of those things we have to watch for. Favy Wavy, have you discovered that the manufacturer of the slot machine makes any difference in wins versus losses? Absolutely. You can find it's a little buried. It's trademarked. They don't like to share. I was in aerospace engineering doing jet engine manufacturing. And if you have a patent on everything you do, people can go read the patent. And it's illegal to use the technologies that's in there, but, the government of China doesn't care. and so to protect your knowledge, you make it a trademark secret or a trade secret. You don't tell anybody, not even the patent office. But WMS put out some patents before they were bought by Scientific Games a few years ago, and they published their patents. Now they're difficult to read, but what they talk about is the 5 different settings, sometimes 6 different settings that you can code in by opening. This is back when they this wasn't this is coin operated, but you could open up the door and you punch in a new code and close the door, and that would have changed the odds. So slot machine manufacturers offer casinos a number of different settings that they can install. Now, a lot of people, there's this 2009 video that's just wrong. It wasn't too wrong in 2009, but now it's just like wrong. And I need to do something about it eventually. People say, but that's the chip and everybody's protecting the chip. I'm like, no, the game is protected. The ability to force a change on the game theme and the random number generator, that's protected. But the odds are actually separate. And now my cats are fighting. Guys, stop. Okay. It's been fun in the Friedel household lately. In any case, you can look up those WMS patents, and you can see that there's a number of settings that slot machine manufacturers provide to casinos so that they can move back and forth, and everything became automated once central servers came out. So it's just how it's always been. To change the odds. Right. My neighbor has one. I've seen him from 2009. I don't want to get too distracted here. Did it myself, on machines that were, it was an older machine, not a brand new one. But yeah, it's all very easy. Okay. Yes, I apologize if it's a little bit blurry. I'm out in farmland outside of Dayton, Ohio, and usually the voice comes through, but the image, it's odd. I noticed when this happened the last time, my image is slightly blurred, but then the numbering and the logos in the corner isn't. It's all very technologically interesting. I'm so sorry for that. I'll try to be careful about sharing like Excel spreadsheets. Okay, Devin, how do you feel about branded games and the belief payout is poor from them? Sure, yeah, absolutely. There is a license to show images of actors from what is it? I always forget the name of it. The Living Dead. Or Willy Wonka, or even the old one. All these things require licensing monies, and maybe the casino takes part of that bill, and maybe the slot manufacturer pays part of that bill. There's no reason why the player wouldn't take part of that bill too. Okay, so right. And did I miss anything? I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I'll come back to the live chat in a little bit and see what other questions we have. The guys, Emil and Eddie, have Emil the boy, named after Emil Lenz, who discovered the applied electromagnetic, the induced electromagnetic field that makes hard drives possible, the physicist, and Eddie Lamar, who invented Wi-Fi, and I think she did some work with Hollywood. Lovely person, from what I understand. Or she was. Okay, let me get all my ducks in a row. Okay, so there's 6 steps to mapping your slots gameplay path. I'll be able to get through about the first 4, and I think I'll run out of time, and then I'll try to make some points. So I'll go through the first 4, and later on you'll have this free guide that I'll put everywhere, and you will have the whole thing, including the graphics and the additional steps and all that. So I'm basically launching it or introducing it today, and you'll have it before too long. Okay, so there's no magical path to mapping your, no magical formula to mapping your path. I'll attempt to give you some questions that will help set you in the right direction, but give yourself the freedom to solidify a lot of this as you move forward. Step 1, identify your X. Start by thinking about the destination of where you want to be if your slots efforts are successful. What defines success for you? What's the X on your map? It's important to have a clear idea of where the destination is before you can map out a path to get there. Some examples of X might be to give up your day job and instead live on playing slots over a few months a year, or to enjoy your retirement with free travel to new and interesting locations, or to become a slots player interviewed by recreational gambling podcasters, or to live a lifestyle of nomadic wandering to anywhere that has casinos, or to earn bragging rights with your friends and family by winning a car at a casino, or to support your family's need for financial independence, or to land a record deal demonstrating your slots play for a major casino chain. There really is no right or wrong destination here. However, I would encourage you not to think of success in terms of metrics. For example, an X of getting 250 hand pays a year from slots, making an income of $100,000 per year, or tripling your personal slots return, isn't really a destination as much as it is a result. I think we're clear. Okay. It's a reflection of how well you're accomplishing step 5, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. What's your vision for where you want to go with your slots gambling success? What do you want to happen as a result of your efforts at playing slots? Thinking of success outside of metrics, what is success for your slots play? Grab a notepad, create a Google document, or use the napkin next to you. Write down as many questions as you can, and as many answers as you can to those questions. Seriously, get it all out. Step 2, why do you want X? Be honest with yourself. After you've determined what you want to accomplish, and this may sound weird at first, it's important to know why you want it. Being honest about your motives will influence each of the following phases in very fundamental ways. The combination of what, of step 1, and the why of step 2 is what will make you unique and help you stand out in the crowded casino. When both what and why are well known, it becomes a powerful tool to being successful at slots. Most people have never identified why they do certain things or why they invest their energy the way they do. When a random slots player sees someone like you who knows why they do what they do and can clearly see the bigger vision behind it, that's compelling, even inspiring. Even people, even people who otherwise would never be interested in what you do with your slots gambling are now intrigued. An example of X. I have continued to understand more about slots since my first years playing in 2004. Today, I've learned from over 100 casinos with all kinds of setups. including physical reels and video machines, tribal gaming machines, historic horse racing games, and more. Why? Because I think I'm God's gift to humanity, because deep down I'm insecure and need affirmation from slot machine casino gamblers I've never met, because I want to be famous? No. My why is to share my slots gambling life, and in doing so, hope my story influences the trajectory of frustrated slots enthusiasts in the world around me. That's a quote. My intent is to help you win at slots. It's not to do it for you or tell you what your plan is. I've told my university students on career day, I don't care what your plan is. I care that you have a plan. For a slots enthusiast who's never won a hand pay, I'm telling them, hey, the story you know from listening to opinions, rumors, and myths is not the only story there is. Or for the retired gentleman whose casino has only ever taken his bankroll and given nothing in return, I'm saying your future slots play doesn't have to end that way. You can learn to change the outcome for a better result. I just saw a question in the live chat. Well, hopefully I'll be able to get to later, and maybe that applies for you. Your future slots play doesn't have to end up that way as getting nothing. You can learn to change the outcome for a better result. Every time I hear from someone about how my articles and videos have impacted their perspective of slot machine casino gambling for the better, it energizes me. That was like 5-10 minutes ago when Nancy mentioned it. So I mean, that was the last time. Maybe there's been a comment since then. It really does energize me. So recently a Foxwoods slots enthusiast told me, I've been very busy, but have made it about 3/4 of the way through your course. I went back to Foxwoods in Connecticut on Thursday night, did the 5-spin method, and sure enough, one machine paid $300, another hit a couple of spins for $200, another machine hit $200, hit for $200, and so it went. Altogether, I was up $900 for that Thursday night. Or the couple who comments saying, my wife and I were playing in Biloxi, Mississippi a few weeks ago. We had been playing for many hours, and it was well into the night. After almost giving up, I turned to the bank machines behind me, where there was a machine open at the end facing the doorway. I played max on the first pull, but no result. The second pull, I played the button next to max for a few dollars less. I hit the mini, the minor, and the major, all with one pull. Again, the machine on the end facing the traffic coming in. Thanks, John, for all you do. That's why I do this. Stories like that motivate me. That's the drive that compels me to share slots knowledge opening on YouTube and on my website. Now, a few minutes ago, if the only thing I had told you was that I knew how to win at slots, you probably would either be very confused how I did any such thing, or you would subconsciously draw your own conclusions about why I'd say that. But how does knowing my why change what you think about my efforts on YouTube? You still may not be interested in my winning at slots, but at least knowing the bigger vision of my channel makes my videos a bit more compelling to you than a slots channel showing random gameplay otherwise would have, right? For me, this is about reaching slots enthusiasts and changing their lives. It's about leaving them better off than I found them. It's about using teamwork to overcome the gaming industry's goals for us giving them our bankrolls. It's important to realize that casinos don't want you to learn anything about how to win at slots. They want you to close your eyes and randomly select one of their machines because, on average, that's how casinos keep the lights on. Oh, and here's a free drink while you're visiting to give us your money. Before you visit a casino, be intimately in touch with what you want for yourself out of your visit. So dig down deep and be honest with yourself. What's driving you? What's motivating you to get to that big X? It's totally up to you to determine what your driving motivation is and where you want it to take you. Just be honest about it. If you don't like what you come up with, don't try to sugarcoat it. Again, I don't care what your plan is. I care you have a plan. So let me encourage you not to think of your motivation in terms of money or popularity. There are far easier ways to make money and become famous than to win successfully at playing slot machines. Take both these things off the table. Dig a little deeper and answer the question, why do I desire to win? Why am I driven by money? What is it that I believe about myself and about those things that motivates me? I know this is probably one of the easiest steps to skim over because we all want the easy, practical stuff that doesn't require a lot of thought and can be implemented quickly, but this is the most important step. Without it, your path will look very different, and you'll risk blending into the crowd at your local casinos. So that's the end of step 2. I'm going to start step 3, but let's check in with the live chat. I think I've seen a lot of traffic swinging by, and I think I caught. And we got it's not really a question, it's a statement from John Olson. I'm a recreational gambler, still working, drive 10 hours to Wendover, best for recreational gamblers. I don't see a question there. Wendover is on the border to Utah. It's in Nevada. Actually, it's 2 towns on the border between Nevada and Utah on the and so the part of Wendover that is in Nevada is West Wendover, in case you care. Nevada has a lot of towns that are on the border to the next state over. With casinos, I mean. Makes sense, right? Ernie W1. I'm from Texas. When winning a jackpot at WinStar, do you have to pay Oklahoma tax? As a non-resident, how do I put this? You always pay federal tax. It depends on the state if you pay state tax. Oklahoma is one of those states that has a state tax requirement on gambling income for non-residents. Now, you may have heard of gambling deductions. Please, 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 everybody who's a non-resident of Oklahoma who plays slots in Oklahoma, please remember your gambling deductions, if you can have deductions, are limited to $17,000. That moment of silence, okay? That's important, because if you win a jackpot of more than $17,000 but you spend it all, you can most states you can deduct up to your winnings, but not non-residents who gamble in Oklahoma. So that's danger, 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 and just be careful. Unexpected tax burdens are hard. Unexpected surprise tax burdens are worse. So please understand that if you have gambling deductions, and you might say, oh, I don't have gambling deductions. Well, you're one big win away from having gambling deductions. And if you do that, if you keep gambling records, just understand as a non-resident of Oklahoma, gambling in Oklahoma, that you have a cap, and it's low. Okay. Jojo, hiya, P.S. Copy is made, ready to take more notes. Missed you last week. Your stream is blurry, but your teaching is clear. Yeah, I understand. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get Google Fiber out here. No one has said so, but I just sort of like, we'll work for bandwidth. They used to have those shirts. The voice should come through clear. The picture may be blurry. So I try not to show you things that would be blurry. And I think we're okay. Yes, let's see. I guess I've already answered the question about branded games, and so Tyler Sloan asks, how do I get out of this losing streak? First off, and this is hard, stop. You're on a losing streak, so something's up. You have to consider if there's a lot to think about. Do you have a casino that's isolated from any other casino? Or more specifically, when you say that you're on a losing streak, do you win? Because some people that I have on my paid consultations, we could talk about it there if you want to, and that's all available on my website. If you are going to the casino and you win, and then you lose it all, that's different from going to the casino and losing it all, right? As I try to tell people who go to the casino, win, and lose it all, you're half successful. I don't have to teach you how to win. Unless you just go and lose money, in which case I have to teach you how to win. But the second thing happens is, how do you get out of the casino with your money? And frankly, run. That's if that's what's happening to you. There's not enough detail in what's going on with your losing streak. Think your way through it, take a break, and reevaluate and get a plan together. I can help if you need me to. Right, we have Steve. Hi, Steve. We've been chatting over the phone occasionally. Steve is. Thank you for the donation, Steve. I have to remember to give everybody the music. He says he's leaving for Harris Cherokee after the show. Karma donation for good luck to win 4 trips in a row. Wink, wink. Thanks, Professor Slots. You're welcome, Steve. Have a great trip. Stay safe, and look forward to hearing your outcomes on the North Carolina Slots Enthusiast, if you care to share. Thanks. Okay. Whew. Right. I don't want to skip too much. There's okay. We did that far. Tyler Sloan says, I have one in the 5-pool method before. Thanks to John. If you don't mind, would you share which casino that was? Because it only works at like 1 in 4 casinos. And I don't keep a list, but maybe some other people in the live chat now. If you're watching this later, the live chat won't be available. But during the show, you can read the live chat as it goes by. And Tyler, if you want to share that casino in the state, that would be helpful for everybody in the live chat. That Sheena girl, when the 5-poll method doesn't work, what can we do? Try next. I have 9 strategies. The first one, and I should just give their names, but I like counting things up. The first one, strategy 1, is I used to call, I guess I still do, only win immediately, and it's the 5-spin method, which is most popular. It's my most popular by far YouTube video, and I can't for the life of me figure out why. I won more on strategy 7. That's why I gave it number 7, lucky 7, but it's hardly ever, mentioned. So if you want to try, if the 5-spin method doesn't work, and it only works at 1 in 4 casinos, and it's not like, if you do the test properly, minimum bets out on the main floor, 20 machines, and check to be sure, because it's easy. I guess that's why it may be popular. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. 25% of the time, that's how much it works. So try one of my other strategies, and they're all laid out in my book, or you can take my course, or you can just kind of search through YouTube for them. And however you want to go about finding it. The course is meant to give you a step-by-step process through all the information, and it's currently at a discounted $100, which is going to go away in 8.5 days. So ProfessorSlots.com, just click the green button at the top, or go to courses.professorslots.com. And I mentioned the link earlier in the live chat, and it's also in the video description. Okay. So if you see somebody win a strategy 7, win, walk away, come back later. If you see somebody win a hand pay on a machine that you would be interested in playing, or you see somebody have a big win on a machine that it's in your budget, write down the time and the machine and come back 1 week later. 5 minutes early, and play through that same time period on that machine. Now, if the first time is like the week before Thanksgiving, and the 1 week later, exactly 1 week later, 5 minutes earlier is like Thanksgiving. Well, conditions have changed. What you want, and it works for like 4 to 5 weeks, where you don't win the same amount, but you have the odds that person had, and so you could win something. And I've used that to make a lot of my hand pays at one casino. And I used the strategy 1, 5-pool method at another casino to make a lot of wins there. So then you can also do some of the other strategies, and that's what I'm all about. But these are tips, and having a plan is, tips last a short amount of time, and having a plan lasts a lot longer. Okay, I think. Okay, enough, Tyler. I'll now we're talking about your girlfriend. There's a tip on the internet. I'll look into that. Raymond, thank you. Let's see. Can the casino change the percentage on a slot machine? Yes. Can the casino change the percentage on a poker machine? Not in Nevada, because of the Nevada Gaming Regulation 14.040, paragraph 5. There it is for you. Yes. Now, they don't do it because you're playing the machine on a slot machine. They don't change the percentage because you're playing a slot machine. Because what would they change it to? They're about 4 hours behind on doing analysis of what's coming in and going out and all of that, so they wouldn't know what to set yours to. A lot of slots players are like, well, of course they'd set it to 0. And I'm like, there's laws against that. So the slot machine odds changing on the odds changing on your slot machine by the casino is on a schedule planned long ago. All right. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. Time to change the odds. Just because you're sitting at it doesn't make it about you. So yes, the casino can change the odds, but they don't do it personally. It's all planned well in advance and has nothing to do with you. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. There's sometimes hard to tell. I think I already answered that question. What is your take on HHR slots? I personally don't like them. Okay, so historic horse racing, HHR, is games that are based on horse racing. And they don't have slot machine gaming regulations. They have pari-mutuel racing gaming regulations. And so there's not a lot of protections in place for slots. What I found my strategy 9 of location, if you know which one that is, to work great with HHR machines. So I might try that. Find the one machine on one side of the bar or the other side of the bar in the row, bracketing the bar. I've been to Derby City in Kentucky. I've been to Red Mile in Kentucky. And that seems to work just fine. Now, I didn't win a lot, but it was a little more enjoyable when the money lasted longer. Let's see, Canadian here, off to, looks like I'm going to stop with the first 2 steps. Again, I wasn't going to be able to get through all of them. I'd hope to get through step 3, but and there's 6 steps, but there's more to share here. This is something that I'm developing and will coming out. Just to be clear, I am replacing my top 7 online resources for slots for gamblers, because it's not entirely about slots players, and I developed it 6 years ago. And while all the resources are still available, some of them are semi-retired, and they really haven't kind of grown to match the times, as it were. So I wanted to replace that, because my focus has become this, and its focus is kind of over there. And so I decided to come up with what's called a new lead magnet, which is a 27-page guide. Maybe 28. I have a few more, about like half a page to write. And that is something that will be available for sign. I'll send it out to everybody on my email list. You can go to my website now, professorslots.com, and just open any article, and there's a green button somewhere in it that'll say sign up. And I will send it out in a blanket email to everybody on my email list, but also anybody who newly signs up in about a week or so. Lots to do in the next week. will get this new lead magnet that I've been working my way through here, and ran out of time. But I can't continue. It would take another hour to go all through this, and I feel like I need to answer questions. Right, Canadian here, off to Niagara Falls View on Monday, Tuesday. Haven't played for 17 months. Have to temper my excitement so I don't do anything stupid. That's a plan. Good job. Mohegan Sun, the Mohegan tribe of Connecticut, took over the two Niagara casinos as operators. And they're very professionally done. They're running a casino down on the Strip now, and they've got several other international ones besides Canada. I think there's one in South Korea too. They're just becoming a really big business besides running Mohegan Sun in Connecticut casino as well. You got it. That's whenever I take 2 weeks off from vigorous exercise, my number one rule is don't hurt yourself the first day back. Don't hurt yourself. So, right. Don't do anything stupid. I'm counting on you. Okay. Raymond, thank you for the suggestion earlier. I'll answer your question now. Is playing slots online completely different from brick and mortar casinos? 98% different. 95% different. In the mid-90s, there's one thing to watch out for. I'll call it a tip. All right. If you are in a gaming jurisdiction like Michigan, which recently got approved, the state government approved having online slots, this is a good time to play because the companies, the online casino companies, are trying to build up customers amongst a group of people that have never played online slots. So they're trying to get them hooked. And how do you get somebody hooked? You let them win. But if you do this, understand they're going to turn the tap off. They promised their investors they would get a certain market share along with all the others. And then the investors are supposed to get paid. And how do you get paid? You take the money. So if you want to read about this, if you want to see this in action at a brick and mortar casino, which is where they learned it from, go to professorslots.com/ABC27. And that'll be my interview with the Evening News in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where they had questions just like this. Watch the last few seconds with the anchors talking to one another on the Evening News, ABC Evening News, Channel 27, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, professorslots.com/ABC27. And they'll talk about the first year at Penn National was the best it's ever been. And it's been lower ever since. And Horseshoe Cincinnati was that way before it got bought when it first opened. That was true for the first year. The second year wasn't too bad. I still won like 50 hand pays the second year. 54 hand pays the previous year, but that was the last 6 weeks. Became 7 stars in like 6 weeks. It was just crazy. But the second year wasn't too bad. And in the third year, I went and saw at that point I was writing a book. And in the third year, I went back and just kind of looked around, and there was only one person I knew in the high limit room. And I said, "Where's Bubba? Where's Devin? Where's Dustin? Where is everybody?" Oh, they all went into bankruptcy because they thought they were lucky those first couple of years. And, well, the casino investors got paid. So the advantage that we can take, the business advantage we can take advantage of on online slots is if it opens in your state, you've got a short window. And the hard part is don't get hooked. Once they turn the tap off, it wasn't you not being lucky. It was the business practice changed. That's my tip. All right. Leslie, I've got like a minute. Is the time you go to the casino significant? It can be. It depends on the casino business practice. Sometimes early in the morning after a busy night or a busy holiday is a great time. Let's see. Devin says 7 has worked. It's been frustrating returning later and seeing other people at the doing it at the same time they sat before and the night before. I've always worried. I was talking to everybody when I was doing the strategy 7 and coming back a week later, 5 minutes earlier, and I was talking to everybody that I knew, and I was concerned. I was very concerned that somebody would, that I told that to, would be sitting at the machine when I came back. Make a list. Make a list of many of them, because each one only lasts like 4 to 5 weeks. Not to get into it, but I think the time drifts back and forth a little bit, forward or back, and we sort of slip out of the time frame of the good odds. But come back. And just make a list of a bunch of them, because you're going to be cycling through them, and maybe one of them won't be occupied. Yeah, this is practical difficulties, isn't it? I want to thank John for $6.99, but I don't know if it's US dollars. It's CA dollars. I can't remember which one that is. Excellent YouTube channel, Professor Slots. Cheers, sir. Thank you. We are out of time. There's a last few. It's good to see you too, Steve. Looks like we're. Are you have any luck in Lake Charles or Kinder? Okay, that's a different question for somebody else. Okay, yes, the 5. Just quickly here, the 5 pull method could be 10 pulls. Some people like 8. Some people like less than 5 pulls. It's if the more pulls that you make, and somebody joked here like 100 pull. That's like 1,000 pull. That's not the strategy. But if you change it from 5, you can. Less is more conservative. More means you will have more losses. So I chose 5 because it was kind of in the middle of the road. Some people like 8. Sounds like you like 10. Okay, so I'm going to have to let everybody go. Thank you so much to everybody. Thank you for being here, and I've enjoyed our time together. You guys take care. I will make every effort to be available to have a live stream again next weekend, despite having a launch of my course at professorslots.com/30 days, where I am going to raise the price $100, but you can get it now for $97 instead of the permanent price, long-term price of $197. And there's now a timestamp on my page, which you can see here, and we got 8 days, 10 hours, 58 minutes, and 8 seconds left, which I hope you can see. It's not too blurry, and that's at courses.professorslots.com. And please make sure you don't lose that discount, because it's all over midnight, August 22nd, Sunday midnight, 8.5 days from now. All right, have fun, be safe, make good choices.